Alright, hey, what's up guys? Thanks for coming back to another edition of Let's Play City Skylines. It's going to be our 4th episode. Really excited to get going here. We got a lot of cool stuff going on in our city. We started a lot of really cool expansions the last episode. Making our way into the office district and downtown. Here we got a look at the suburbs area. We got our little university park area going on. So yeah, we got a lot of really cool stuff, and yeah, we're just going to continue expanding. So let's just get right into it. So in this episode, I'm just going to pause real quick. So in this episode here, we're gonna take a look at I'm wondering why all these trees are not having a good time over here. Huh. I may look at that off camera and see what's going on there. Just noticed that in the cinematic. But anyway, so what we're gonna do is let's just go ahead and buy a couple tiles because we're gonna start our expansion here. So purchase that. So we know that as we've talked about, our major downtown area is gonna be here. We're gonna have our office district be over here, which we already kind of started, and then making our way over this way is gonna eventually be our port for the industry park, which will continue across the highway, maybe even just move completely across the highway. Maybe this will just be like farming over here. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to building. Let's throw in a one time just so we can get a little bit of demand built up while we're doing this. Alright, what road do we use here? Using our boulevard. Let's just go ahead and keep it going. So thank you to those of you who have already started watching some of these videos. I'm going to be trying to get like 3, maybe 4 or 5 out per week that I'll record over the weekend, and then I'll just have them scheduled to drop throughout the week so that you guys can check them out at your leisure. But yeah, definitely a lot more coming. Just leave me some comments if there's anything in particular you want me to help with. If there's any kind of wow, that road did not happen at all. If there's anything that you guys are curious about that you'd like me to help answer, any kind of things you've been trying to figure out how to do that you've been having issues with, that I could potentially help you with. So, but yeah, for now, let's just keep building. We're gonna start our downtown area here, and yeah, I'm really excited to get going. I hope that we can get, because we've got, what do we have here? 4 tiles. I'm hoping we can get these 2 as well eventually, because that's a really cool little. This could be a really cool, super high end area of our town, maybe off the port here. Because the highway connection we could break off here to feed the port, but then this little byway here will actually feed this region in here, which will be really, really cool. But that's a super long way out, so let's just keep focusing on what we got going on here. So all right, let me see. What I think we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it with the same kind of interchange that we used before. Kind of like that interchange. I don't know. See, I have some of these other ones here. I have like this inner city one. I just don't think it's nearly as efficient as that one there. We've got some of these roundabouts. This one here, which I've used before, which I think I said in the last video, it's not super efficient. This one here is just a little bit too much, because if this highway was continuing all the way through and there wasn't this up here, I would think about throwing down a 4-way, but I don't think that's completely necessary right now to have that heavy of an interchange, just because anybody that's on this road here is either going to be leaving this part of town, or they're going to be coming from the highway and they already got off the main highway here. This is kind of more of this is, if you think about the interstate system, this would be your major interstate here. And then this would be more of a local state route. So, yeah, so we don't want to be too close to this roundabout, because we don't want to just compound traffic issues. But we also want to leave ourselves room, because I'm probably going to place like 2 or 3 of these along the way. So we'll probably go like right there. Let's go ahead and key that and drop it right in there. Alright. Oof. We could have done that a little bit better, but there we go. Everything's fixable, right? So we know that that's a highway road. Connect that back up. Not a big deal. Just for the sake of consistency, we're gonna make sure that's a ground level. And then gonna connect this up. About there. Same deal. Reverse the direction. Alright, cool. So now what we can do is we can bring that down. And this is, we're going to start this off as a 4-laner. I know that this is eventually going to end up being much bigger, but just for the time being, until we kind of see where the traffic ends up building from. Is it going to, is it going to be building in here? Is it going to be building coming off of here? You know, there's the major thing is here we're giving people options. I may end up throwing another roundabout in here eventually, but for right now, just to get us started, we'll go with that. So just want to try to kind of find the middle here to do our first major break off. And then make sure we get that snapping. We're gonna throw this back on. Oh wait, we gotta connect the highway and then we'll put it back on 1 speed. We are cutting off traffic right now. So let's get this connected up. Love the way that's connecting. We'll do that instead. That does not look good at all. Fix that, we'll move it. Okay, move it in here just to straighten these out a little bit. Like so. That'll do. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, obviously with inside the city, this is going to be our major, sort of our major downtown area here. It's going to be much more, kind of like this, much more gridded, dense, everything on top of each other. So we want to, let's go four units out. Start it like that. Cool, it's nice and straight. So we'll just keep that going up. I'm not super worried about, normally I would try to make sure all these roads are going to line up with the, let's call it the old town up to the north here. Not worried about it because this is going to have its own unique layout now. So make sure that. Now, one thing I want to try to avoid is too many connections on here, so I might go like every other street connecting onto this road, because this road here is going to become really busy. This road here is going to become really busy. So what we'll definitely do is we'll do that. Probably what I'll end up doing is bringing like this one down and then just chopping it off right like that. I think that was even too far. We're gonna leave some room here for a nice park or something like that. So let's go down by a measure of 3. It's fine. And then line it up. That's fine. We got a nice big area there to maybe throw a park down, whatever we want, and then we can just continue on here. Industry demand's starting to pick up, which is good. So we'll start throwing down some of those buildings here in a second. Go out to about there. This is where, you don't have to worry too much about being super crazy with making sure everything's straight. And this is a downtown grid now, so just make it. We have got way too many connections here. I just realized that. So we're gonna back that up. Same thing here that we did on the other side. We're going to get down by a measure of 3, connect it up. like so. I'm gonna try to avoid creating too many four-way intersections on the major boulevards, which are, let's be honest, they're eventually going to be 6-lane roads and maybe even 8-lane roads once this really gets to be a busy downtown area. That little gap there, what I'm going to probably do is this corner here, I'm going to put down a really big building to fill up that area there that's not used at the moment. Same thing over here, you know, we've got some really big monuments and things like that that we'll throw down. So yeah, it's going to look really, really nice. So I guess we're just going with, we'll do this right now. Leave that open, just leave that area open again. You know, we'll have the dense pocket, but then really give ourselves some room to throw on some of the really big skyscrapers and big unique buildings. But yeah, alright, so this will be a nice little first pocket here. So let's get some water, and then we'll start throwing down some zoning. Really like the way this turned out. This looks really nice. I've not gone this particular route before. I'm just doing something a little different than what I normally do in this area of the map. But kind of like the way it turned out so far. So one thing I always have in the back of my mind is, what is the traffic situation going to be like once everything gets built all the way up and whatnot. But I think we'll be okay for the time being. Alright, so we definitely want to get some services in here because the demand for medical and things like that is going to really start to skyrocket once we get the dense area here. So see, perfect, look at this. Because I left that empty, no big deal, because now I can just throw this hospital right down. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually just going to make this a roundabout right away. I know that there's going to be a demand for it later, and instead of ruining everything we got going on in the beautiful city we're building, let's just go ahead and just build it right away. Did I do that right? Nope. Nope, I did not. I went one too many. There we go. There are roundabout builders in the workshop. For me, it's just quicker and easier just to build them myself. So I can customize the sides if I want to. And honestly, I do them so frequently now that it's pretty much just as quick, if not quicker, for me to just build them myself. But by all means, feel like you can go grab some of those if you just want to make it a little easier on yourself. You basically just pick a center point and build it out real easy. Okay. So once again, let's grab that hospital. I'm actually going to put it on this side of the road because what I like to do is I like to have big buildings like this. I want them to be able to turn right to the roundabout so that they can go to the roundabout and then go whichever way they need to. It's just going to be a lot more efficient. And then let's see. So we're going to need fire coverage. Not going to go super crazy with fire coverage just yet. We'll still keep the normal size building. Yeah, we'll just keep all these together. Throw that down, throw a police station down. That'll be good enough for coverage right now for those areas there. And then, alright, we're gonna need some education. One thing I wanted to grab off the workshop and I completely forgot to is there is a elementary school that can handle a super high student count. But we'll keep it going with what we've got here. Let's put that a little bit further into the grid. Put that like right here. Put a hospital, or excuse me, a high school right next to it, and then like we've been doing throughout the map, grabbing these nice little basketball or tennis courts. We'll do basketball in here, or is that tennis? Which one did I pick? Tennis court, that's fine. Alright, they want power, that's fine, they'll be getting in here in a second. You do not have water. Okay. Sorry, buddy. Bring it down, get you some water. Okay. Just looking around, making sure we don't have anything crazy flashing up. Got trash here. Trash is really going to become a problem here in a second. What I might do is I might do another way to get kind of them over here. But let's start filling up some of that demand for zoning. So we'll throw some commercial down right here on the main drag, because they do not care about the noise level, which is going to be pretty high in this area here. So we want to keep them right here on the boulevard. Same thing over here. Want to keep them on the boulevard. Let's go like there for now. They are really going to be complaining about power here in a second. I probably should be dragging it from over here. Hopefully that kind of fills up and comes over. You know what? We have the room, so let's just get... We don't want people to be moving out just because they don't have power. And we've got the power grids here. So let's just move it over quick. Not a big deal. Let's grab that, bring it over. Come on, you can do it. Like that. Okay. That'll do for now, just to get them up and going. And then start filling up some of that residential demand. Let's go up to that first major street right now, just for the time being. And then offices, we're trying to keep offices over here, so let's just stay consistent with that. Throw them down there. And then we'll leave that go for the time being. One of the things we do need to start thinking about here, we'll take it to 3 times speed just to get this built up, is we need to start figuring out public transportation. We haven't done any of that yet. We really haven't done a lot with parks. So I'm actually going to do separate episodes on each one of those. Probably the next episode. This episode we're just going to focus on starting to build up our downtown grid and throwing down some initial zoning and utilities. And then in the next episode we'll do a whole episode just on starting up our public transportation. So we'll get trains over here to the because we haven't locked those, over to the industrial district to start getting some trains to get stuff out without having to use the highways. We'll have a commuter train in here to bring people in from outside the area, and then we'll have an intercity metro, which is what I prefer to use. A lot of people do like to use trams because they look really cool, and I agree, they do look really cool. I just don't think they're nearly as efficient as subways. Subways are by far the most efficient way to get people around in the city, and that's really what it's all about. I'm not trying to make something that looks the greatest. Maybe like in the actual downtown we'll do some above ground rails, kind of have a Chicago look to it to some of the major roads, but really going to be doing that more for cosmetic look than actual purpose, because it really gets messy if you try to make that work. Whereas with subways you can just plop it down. It takes up like 2, 3, 4 squares of zoning, and everything else is underground, so it's just much more efficient. But yeah, let's just keep building up here, keep building the grid, and then kind of go from there. So again, same thing here. We don't want to build too close to the roundabout, so we'll keep the same theme we've had going. So we went out by a measure of 4, and then connected it up, something like that. Okay, and then these here just went out by 3. Oof. Oh, I know what I did. Forget with the boulevard, you need to add 1 more square. 1 more. There we go. Now we'll have plenty of room. Boom. Look at that. Nice tree roads. Oop, we got a water situation here. Okay. Not a surprise. Just throw down another water tower in here. See if we can somehow get it in here. Throw it there for now. And we know what this means. That means we're now going to also need to add more of these economical water treatment plants, which is 2 to each water station. So we got to throw 2 of these bad boys down, and this whole street now is just becoming our water treatment street. Maybe we'll call it that. That's cool because we're keeping a lot of traffic out of here by doing that. Because I don't know that besides maybe, like trash and maybe fire and police every now and then, I don't think actual vehicles need to go to those buildings. So, minimizing the traffic. Man, that office zoning is just absolutely booming right now. That is... Ooh, and we got a problem here. Probably shouldn't have done that little thing that I did there. What we're actually going to do is we're going to do the same thing we're going downtown. We're going to just back that up. And people will now have to go down here. There's only one road feeding that. Like so. Okay. Just keep it going. Build some more roads out here to fill up the industrial demand. Don't want to connect there. Don't want to connect there. So we're just going to kind of cheat here and see if we can get a nice... I think I have an idea of what I want this to kind of look like. So let's see if we can make it work. So leave that empty down there. Give us some room to grow later. What I want to do is I want to bring that right to the edge there. And then just connect it up. I want to see what that looks like. See if I like the way that looks. Not too terrible. to build these roads until you move them. Cool. Some of these little corners here. Alright, so that's good. Actually, we'll keep it paused and just keep it going here. Alright, we're gonna have to... I'm not gonna anarchy that because I think what's happening is I think that's too steep of an incline, so we're gonna come back to that. So let me get this road up here. Probably too many roads connecting to this one. See, yep, we have some... Was that the school? So what we can do is move it over to the other side there. Not a big deal. Okay. Alright, so then, like we've done before, we're going to back up the residential zone. Make it all commercial all the way down. People do not want to live on a boulevard. They will get sick, they will get cranky, they will demand hospital care, some of them will die if you can't get it to them. Really weird like that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just some other little minor things here. Again, no major... We want to prevent things like this here, now that we have a boulevard coming down. So... Going to connect it up there. Again, we're just going to force people to use the, you know, the four-way intersections, the major four-way intersections, as opposed to turning right off the boulevard into their homes. But then you have to make sure that they're connected. So we'll do that there. Okay. Down here, same thing. This is where we got into a little bit more of the green looking roads, which is fine. So we'll connect, oh, that's already connected over there, so that's fine. We'll just bring that out so that we can zone on it. And do the same thing here, but I think, yeah, we connected that over there. So everything's connected up. Down here, again, a little too tight, so back that stuff up. We want to make them come in here because this road now just became a major area. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 connections now, as opposed to all those other connections we did have. All right, we'll do that. That's fine. Okay. All about managing future traffic problems. Keeping those at bay for as long as possible. Eventually, it's going to be a problem, regardless of how economical you are with your road layouts, but trying to keep it at bay for as long as possible. Alright, and again, back this off the boulevard, and then residential in here. Just using the marquee tool just because I can't quite see around a lot of these buildings to see what's going on in there. But everything looks good. Looks like everything's connected up. We've got the roundabout now servicing that. Last thing we need to do is figure out, well, what the hell is going on down here. I think what we'll do is just connect, do something kind of like this. Make a nice Y intersection. That looks cool. Yeah, that'll do. Don't really love how close together those two are, and maybe one of these ends up becoming a roundabout, or maybe this whole thing becomes a roundabout at some point. Because, yeah, you see what's happening. They're having to stop at this light, go up here, stop at that light, just to get kind of in here. So down the road, that's definitely something we're going to look to do, but on the name of just managing traffic flow in the city. So, all right. Alright, well, we're a little bit over a half hour here. I want to try to keep these videos to around a half hour, so we're probably going to wrap up here at this point. Go ahead and pause the game and go to cinematic camera. yeah, so we did our nice little expansion down here. Looking great. Roundabout's doing awesome. Traffic's not building up there. Got this roundabout here. That's doing great. Like, we are doing awesome with managing our traffic flow at this point. Might end up bringing that boulevard down here and then connecting. I would love to make this a roundabout and have a four-way connection. Maybe we'll work on that a little bit later, a few episodes down the road. But yeah, we'll kind of call it here. Love the way that looks. Suburbia here. These buildings are going to get taller once we do our beautification episode and start leveling some of these buildings up. Yeah, it's really coming along. Really loving the way this is turning out. Major expansion down here. So yeah, we'll next episode we'll probably look into into some public transportation, and maybe if we have time, do some parks and stuff like that in the same episode. If not, then we'll do it in two separate ones. We'll just kind of see how it goes. Sometimes subway networks are pretty quick, so maybe we'll be able to do it in the same episode and really start to get some of these buildings start to level up. And yeah, pretty excited about that. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.